Hello and welcome to the 90th episode. Can you believe that we've done 90? This is our 90th episode.
Wow, that's a lot.
Well, really 91st, right? Because we did a bonus episode. We won't go into that.
Yeah,
This is the 90th episode. Welcome to the podcast. I am Jacob Wells, and this is my dad, Keith Eric Wells. And we are in Thailand right now.
Yeah.
When this releases, but we're not in Thailand right now.
Yeah.
As you can see, we're in the library of the church. So, we tried to get ahead so that we stayed with our consistent uploads, and we might have already recorded one down there. So, who knows? But with that, I kind of want to talk about the trip a little bit ahead of time, because the time change thing is kind of crazy. So I don't even understand it, so I need you to help me. But you are going on the other side of the world, which is...
Yeah, so we're leaving at 7 a.m. on Monday, and we will arrive Tuesday night, 11 p.m. So we lose...
But we'll only be traveling...
We'll
be traveling 30 hours, right?
29, 30 hours. So, yeah, so
without any
it's like
delays.
an 11-hour difference or something like that. So
it's craziness.
Yeah.
So when we come back,
you gain a whole day. So the day you come back on they come back on the 18th will be the longest day of your life. It will stay the 18th the whole day, because you're at the beginning of. So it starts in the middle of the Pacific, and the time goes west. So, but you're going to fly east. So you're going to catch the day.
It's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
It
will be Thursday forever for you.
It's kind of cool too.
Yeah.
As you're flying over the ocean.
Yeah.
Well, the country as well.
Yeah.
But
pretty cool.
So where are we flying? We're flying out of Chicago, right?
Yeah, fly to Chicago. That's a short flight, obviously. And then there's a 15-hour flight to Tokyo. And then we got a layover and a 6-hour flight down to Bangkok, which I wish we knew the language so we could actually go out into Tokyo for 2 hours or something. But I'm not risking that.
No.
That's not with a group of people. That's crazy.
I
might risk that.
People.
I might risk that if it was myself, but
not 15 people. It's different.
No.
So
that's not happening.
The first time, so I led the Guatemala trip, first mission trip that I led, and there were 24 people or something like that.
Yeah.
And luckily, I had Bill, so I always had a backup. If I ever did anything stupid, he'd be like, "Hey, whoa." So that was comforting. But the first time I went to the airport after that, I was like, "This is so easy. It's only Callie and I. I don't have to be counting every step of the way. 24 people. All right, we can move on." It was like, no.
Yeah.
I always know she's right there, and
when you're done leading the trip, you're done with people for a while.
So we'll get back Thursday, right? So then we'll
the longest Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have a few days to
and
to
then
recalibrate, which that's going to be.
Yeah, it'll
talk about jet lag.
They tell you it takes a day per hour. So.
Oh my goodness.
So hopefully it won't. The nice thing going there is that you're going to get there at night at 11 p.m. So probably get to the hotel 12:30, 1 o'clock. You'll be able to go to sleep.
Dog tired too.
Yeah, and so that will help. And then coming back will be the same thing. It will be night when you get back, so you'll be able to go to sleep. So that's always helpful, because some of the mission trips we've taken, you
get there at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you show up at 8, 9 in the morning, and it's like, okay, we got to go.
Yeah,
time to work all day, and
that also helps with not getting jet lag too, because if you go to sleep and you sleep during the day, then you're really messed up.
Yeah. It doesn't help.
We tried to do that with Iceland. We got there in the morning, and we went to. This is stupid. This was. So when you're on the way from the airport to Reykjavik, that what is it called? The hot springs.
Yeah.
What is that called? The famous one. I forget.
Blue something.
Blue Lagoon. Thank you.
Yeah.
We did that right off the plane. So we're like, man, this feels great. And then we drove.
Sleeping in the hot tub.
Then we tried to. I had an hour and a half drive, which it's not that long, but you can only go 45 miles per hour on those stupid roads.
Yeah.
So it takes forever to get there. And that was the scariest drive of my life because she was conked out. Great. I was like, I was trying, and they don't have energy. They don't have that type of stuff. And the radio, you can't understand anything. So
Rolling the window down.
It was bad. It's a miracle we got there. But then we were like, all right, we need to stay up. It was like 5 o'clock at this time. We need to stay up till at least 9. Like 9 is the. We didn't stay up. we sat down and we were asleep from 6 to 9, and then we were awake. So then we were up till like 3 in the morning, and yeah, that was rough. So hopefully, with a big group and like doing a mission trip, that's different than
cool
being able to go to your Airbnb and sleeping.
It's cool when you go out west and do that, because if you're wanting to get up to hike, I mean, you're up 4 or 5 in the morning, and you're like, let's go.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
Yeah. Get there before everybody else.
Yeah, you get there before everybody else, and you're wide awake. And
go to bed at 8.
Yeah, who cares?
Yep.
It's dark. You can't hike in that anyway, so very good.
Yeah. So another thing, I want to do a prediction. I don't know if I should do this prediction or not because I'm involved in the prediction.
All right.
But this will be long gone, but just a topic of conversation because I'm excited about it. So tomorrow, for us right now, Frank Teague and I are doing a doubles tournament at Idlewild. So we went, the pros were there, disc golf.
Yeah. And
Idlewild is that pro course that I went to the tournament a few weeks ago. And so we get to play that course as doubles. And best disc.
Scramble. Yeah.
Yeah. So best ball. And him and I are just going to go after it. Well, there's different divisions. So MPO is the top. MA1, Amateur 1, Amateur 2, Amateur 3, Amateur 4. Okay, so him and I are like MA2, MA3. Well, MA2, you can't go below. So if we're in MA2, we can't go down to MA3 for obvious reasons.
That's fun.
But MA2 plays on Sunday, where we should be. We're not playing on Sunday. So we have to go up again, and we're playing MA1. So there's 2 guys that played in that pro tournament the other.
Well, why do they get
week.
to do that?
Because that's where their ranking is.
Oh,
that's where their rating is. So
you're gonna lose by like 20
so there's
strokes.
There's 25 teams in this thing. So it's pretty big. And so my goal is to get top 10. With doubles, it's possible because just things happen. That's our goal. My prediction.
Just 1 round?
It's 2 rounds, so that's even better.
36 holes. Okay.
No, 48. It's 24 holes.
Wow.
They add the 6 extra holes that the pros don't play. Yeah.
Okay.
So 48 holes of up and down.
In one day?
In one day, all Saturday. And so, yeah. My prediction is that we get 17th. That's my prediction. Because we looked at the people and we've played against some of the people and we think we can get 17th. That's my prediction. Our goal is top 10 because that's what cash is. You get a gift card to get more discs, which we don't need, but whatever. And so that's our goal, but I'm saying we get 17th. And we will update you.
Nothing to say there. All right. All right.
What is your prediction? I will make you say something.
16th.
All right.
14th. Aim for 4. You be a multiple of 7 and you'll be good.
21. If we get 7th, that'd be great. We're not getting 7th.
Yeah.
That means we play out of our mind.
Oh, so one more thing on the timeline. So Leanne and I are leaving separate. The church was gracious and gave us a gift for our 30th. And actually, it was for my 25th on staff. It was also our 30th wedding anniversary. So when they leave to go home, we're going to leave and eventually make our way to American Samoa. So you're talking the time change thing. Some of you guys have heard this already, if we've met with you at all. But the international date line you can only fly from that area to British Samoa, which is just called Samoa, and American Samoa is next to it. Well, the international date line is between the two. So my flight leaves at 1 p.m. on Wednesday, and I arrive at 1:30 p.m. Tuesday. So I will relive Tuesday, half of Tuesday and half of Wednesday.
And how long
twice.
is the actual flight?
It's a half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a half-hour flight. But it crosses the international date line. So we leave on one day, and we go back in time a whole day. So that's sort of cool.
Yeah, that is.
So that's all I had to say, but that's fun. We're looking forward to that.
So, that messes with my...
All right, let's get to it.
Messes with my brain.
We just got 2 questions today.
One of them we're going to spend most of our time on.
We are, okay. Very good.
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah. So this one is... This
is
first
the last
one,
of our question ones that we're going to do.
This one is a relational question based off of Scripture. This is another one that we went over of how do we know, like, what one thing saying this, one thing saying the other. Culture is saying something completely different than both of them. So 1 Corinthians 7:2, I'll just read it. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, so it's talking about marriage, let every man have his own wife, let every woman have her own husband. And then in the same chapter, in verse 9, it says, but if they cannot contain, let them marry. So if they cannot contain and they cannot avoid the temptation and their sinning, if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. So the question is, the Bible doesn't tell us God created a soulmate for us, nor does it tell us to marry for love based off of 1 Corinthians 7. So is the primary reason for getting married in our modern world to have a sexual outlet and keep us from fornication? Okay. That is the question.
Yeah, you sent it to me. Soulmate versus marrying just to abstain from fornication versus marrying for love.
Yeah. So there are different facets to this question. Hold on, I lost my... So what does 1 Corinthians say? What is it actually saying in these 9-10 verses? What is Paul talking about a soulmate? Did Paul say to only marry for sexual reasons or for love? Was Paul teaching that the only or primary reason to get married is for that or to remain from sin? And then you have the whole thing about that, those 2 words, or is it 2 words or is it 1 word? Soulmate. Whatever.
I don't know.
What is a soulmate? Do we have a soulmate? Is it not about love or all that whole thing? So I think we need to answer both because culture is saying soulmate.
Soulmate.
I loved it. Yeah. Yeah, all that jazz. So let's go into 1 Corinthians first. 1 Corinthians 7.
All right.
If you want to, do you have anything before we get into that?
Well, I mean, I just have a general answer on soulmates. You don't find that anywhere in Scripture. Soulmate, and I'll tell you, we'll go into why. I mean, you might feel that, some person you're just so perfectly combined with each other, and, so be it. But I don't believe in soulmates. I believe that's created, and we'll go into that. So, so as you go through here in 1 Corinthians 7, it is good for a man not to touch a woman, is verse 1. They'd been asking about this. So
because he says, now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me. So they're asking,
right.
Okay, what is this thing? Like, what is marriage? Because you're not married, and you're doing a bunch for the Lord, but we're told to get married like that. So that's... I'm guessing that's the
So 1 through 6 are for married folks, or 2 through 6 is for married. To avoid fornication, you could put the word adultery there because he's speaking to married people at this point. But the act is the same. So having sex outside of marriage, or outside of your marriage would be in this case. Let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto wife due benevolence, and likewise the husband unto the wife unto the husband. For the wife hath not power over her own body, but the husband, and likewise also the husband hath not power over his own body, but the wife. Here's the key. Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that you may give yourself to fasting and prayer, and come together again, and Satan tempt you not for the incontinency, but I speak this by permission and not of commandment. So he's giving advice here, not by permission, but not of commandment, but by permission. That verse 5 is the key here. He's saying, if you're married, unless you two have agreed upon this for a period of time because you're praying and fasting over something, you don't have control over your own body. That doesn't mean you force yourself on your spouse, but it means you don't have the right to say, no, we're never going to have sex. And he's telling here, you defraud each other. That's a pretty powerful word. You're defrauding your spouse when you decide, nope, I'm not going to do this. And he says the wife doesn't have power over her body or the husband over his. We're to yield ourselves
to each other.
Yeah, we're to yield ourselves to each other. Why? So that you don't give place for Satan to tempt you.
Yeah.
So it's not saying that gives you a right to go and commit fornication because your wife or your husband won't have sex with you. That's not what it's saying at all. But he's saying if you continue to do that, you've created a stumbling block. You've created the Satan to have
room
for temptation. And I have seen this in many, many marriages where there's anger and other issues, and the husband or the wife, typically you hear it on the wife's side where, well, I'm going to use it as a weapon. I cut him off, and he's not going until this happens. I'm not going to yield myself in that relationship with each other, and that's the start of a major problem in marriage. Now, that wasn't your original question, but that's what he's talking about here in 1-6, is defrauding within the relationship.
So I read
a big deal.
Yeah, read some things where it was speculation on why they were asking that, because Paul was single, and Paul here in verse 7, for I would that all men were even as I myself, but every man hath his proper gift of God. So this is talking about whether you're single like him. He says, I would prefer, that would be awesome if everyone could be single, because he has so much time. He didn't have other responsibilities. He could just go and do that.
He can get a lot more accomplished.
But
maybe
that was his gift from God. That was his avenue that the Lord had him going down. Other people, us, we're married. That was not the gift. But they're both gifts. And so he was explaining through verses 2-6, this is what marriage is, and that is a beautiful thing when it is done correctly, and when it's done through the instructions from the Word of God of submitting one to another. That is a beautiful thing. Him being single is also a beautiful thing because of what we just said. He could spread the gospel without having other responsibilities.
He's not taking care of his wife and having to use time to care for children and to build a home and to do those things,
which are beautiful things.
So that allows him then to go and minister without those responsibilities. Yet on the other side of that, a person that's married has the opportunity to create a relationship that can be. Leanne and I together are definitely accomplished more than we could individually. Just today she sent out some texts and stuff like that where her and I are ministering together to the same people. I don't think that way. Yeah. She writes stuff that not in a million years do I think that way. But yet at the same time she doesn't think the way I do either. So that way we'll be able to minister. We're able to raise children that then can spread the gospel as well. So now it's not just one or two people. Now it's 4 people, and now it's going to be, there's 2 more and 1 more on the way. So that helps in that way as well. So God uses that.
So there was also where people were the movement of asceticism.
Asceticism,
Yeah.
sure.
So it was more spiritual to be celibate and to do all
so
that.
the whole
And so, okay, I
like
need to get rid of my wife because I need to
priest
be
mentality. Oh, okay.
that type of thing. And that was a movement. And Paul is like, he's like, no, that is why this is like,
Oh,
that's
okay.
this is a beautiful thing. And
Yeah,
you see that
Genesis, it's not good for man to be alone. I mean, Genesis 2:18.
you have Ephesians 5:21 where Paul is talking 21 through 33. He's talking about the beautiful submission of both. Then Colossians 3:18 through 19, he talks about it. In Proverbs 18:22, it says, "A man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing." Then you have the whole picture of the church being the bride. That is a marriage, like. He understands that marriage is a beautiful thing, and he's saying, no, like, this is a gift if you are married. If you are not married, that is a gift as well. And he's from that perspective, it changes a little bit because not everyone's called to be a monk,
right?
And just that is not more spiritual. That is not more. You're not on a higher pedestal because you do that thing. No, that's not what's being said. And he's not putting himself on that pedestal either, and that helped me understand Paul's outlook on it a little bit more.
Yeah, there's not this like more spiritual. I got a quote here from Wearsby. Singleness, therefore, is not a sub-spiritual or super spiritual standard. It's just God's will for that person at that time.
Yeah.
And even at that time, I like that part that he's added in there. So you go back to your original question.
Yeah. So verse 9, do I just marry because I can't control myself to avoid from me falling into fornication?
And
verse 9.
I would say to a certain degree, yes. I mean, if you can't control yourself, it's better to marry.
Okay, so do I just marry the first person I see?
No, I don't. That's taking it to an extreme.
Well,
without a doubt.
That's where we go with our minds.
Yeah, that's not the case there. I mean, you don't isolate that from the rest of Scripture. I mean, you find a person that is like-minded. You find a person that wants to be a follower of the Lord. Someone that makes you better, someone that has a desire. Yeah, you don't just go find some slopwad and marry them.
Well, even if they're not. So I go to Ring by Spring in colleges.
Yeah.
They take that and they're, okay, I have these strong feelings, natural feelings. So they get married within a year, and then the divorce rates with one college was 54% with those. So that's a complex.
It's not complex at all. I mean, you can't at that age. Your hormones are raging, and any pretty young lady, you're going to have those hormones that are kicking in. So you've got to control yourself, and you got to remove yourself from those situations as well.
I think Paul is being very practical to the Corinthians. This is not a. You do not just marry because you want to avoid. That is not the main reason, and it is not just because I love this person. She's my soulmate. He's my soulmate. That's not why either.
Yeah. So what happens when the mushy feely stuff's gone?
Yeah.
Love is not an emotion. It is an emotion, but the love is not an emotion that we marry for. So I think you have to connect this chapter to chapter 13. So when you go to chapter 13, which is the charity chapter or the love chapter, and you start to go into all those things, that charity suffereth long, is kind, charity envieth not, vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, rejoiceth in truth. Now this isn't dealing strictly with marriage, that it never fails, all these things, it goes on there. Every one of those is a decision, and love is a decision. It's wonderful that if you're marrying someone, that you're in good harmony with each other. There's the attraction is there, and I hope that's all true. But there have been millions of people that have married where they were not attracted to each other, or it was even set up by their parents, and yet they had faithful marriages because they chose to love. They chose to do what is written there in chapter 13. So soulmate, I don't believe so.
Is marriage all about love and finding that one person? Where did soulmate even originate?
I have no idea.
It was in the 1800s.
Oh, you looked it up?
And a poet said soulmate, and I don't know if that was the first mention where I could find of the soulmate. Some people said Greek mythology with Zeus and different things, but like with our culture, we have taken that and we have,
because everything's about emotion.
It's over romanticized.
Yeah.
Of that one person is out there, that Prince Charming is out there.
Everything we do in society anymore is based on emotions, and if you're just an animal to your desires. That's not. That is what an animal does.
Yeah.
We're not animals. We have self-control. God's given us self-control, and one of those, I can choose to love my family. I can choose to love my spouse. And so what happens when the thing that made her so lovey-dovey is gone? When we get older and we don't look the same, and that's where we have chosen to love.
Yeah, so my first question, where did that phrase, the second question is, if you talk to any couple who's been married for any amount of time, like, let's say, past 10 years, is that what marriage is all about? Is that one, she looks so beautiful in the morning when her hair is all, when he has that bad breath, they are just, I love this person so much.
Yeah.
No. And like you're saying, it's the decision. So that soulmate is a hyperbole. It's not realistic. It is not feasible either.
Yeah. Every movie you see where the young lady that was forced to marry the older man, and now she's got the spark in her eye toward this other guy, and she goes outside of her marriage just because he's the soulmate. No, she's in sin, and she has made a decision to not follow. It might make good for a movie, but it is bad for our life.
Yeah.
And it leads to sin.
So to tie a bow on this a little bit, because you have 1 Corinthians 7, which was the original thing of, okay, there is an element of that of you're marrying to abstain from fornication, but there's also, you do marry. Like, I love my wife. I married her because I love her, and it's not just because of
you made a decision.
Yeah. And so love and marriage, you are knitting two souls together and two lives together. But that doesn't just happen because your spouse is that Prince Charming or that princess that you're looking for. It can feel like you are soulmates and everything is perfect at one moment, but then the other moment's like, man, I need to make a decision here. It can be a struggle. It can be hard. It takes work. But
you made the decision that this is going to last.
Yeah, and it's not always
that you're going to follow through on the covenant you made between you and the Lord and your spouse.
And it isn't always that glorious, over-romanticized, sitting on a picnic blanket, feeding each other chocolate-covered strawberries. But guess what? We're married, and we made that decision, and I love my wife more than anybody on this earth. But this idea of her being my soulmate and that whole soulmate thing, that is hogwash. It's over-romanticized. She is my wife. I love her. But that whole over-romanticized thing, I don't like it. She doesn't like it.
It's not.
We've talked about it. And I think I think that idea makes it less special, because obviously God has a plan for our lives and all that, but we have free will. Okay. And so when I go and I lay my head on the pillow at night, it brings me confidence. It brings me an overwhelming feeling of peace that I chose her and she chose me. Soulmates? No.
That's a good take.
I chose her, she chose me, and that no matter what happens during the day, we come right back to our house, to our bed, and I go to sleep at night with her.
There's a sense of peace, yeah.
And that is by God's design. And that knitting of souls, that is a real thing. And I never understood it until it...
Yeah, sure.
You can't. And so there is an element of that, of true love, knitting of souls, but soulmate, no. And then there's the other element that we talked about as well. So marriage is about making that decision, like you're saying, sacrificing, submitting to one another. And when you do that, you and Mom are more like each other than ever before.
Yeah, we're nerds now. We're both nerds together.
And I've seen that with Callie and I after 3 years of, I do that. Like, yeah. I never used to do that, but now we both do it, Yeah. And so that's a special, and that's by God's design. And so just to put a bow on that.
Very good. All right, we have one last question today. Go ahead.
How do I handle favoritism within the family environment? And so this is a heart-wrenching question to me. It was not phrased in this way, and so I'm not going to...
Is it heart-wrenching because your mom and I...
There's favoritism.
Emily's our favorite.
Yeah. She would
she's
say the other way.
She's loving it. Yeah. She's like, yeah.
No, not at all. It's just...
At multiple... it doesn't even have to be just at the mom and dad level. It can be at the grandparent level, just family in general level, that type of thing. You see favoritism really shown in Genesis. You've got Jacob and Isaac. What a mess that is. Where, Esau and Rebekah are playing that game. What?
Jacob and Rebekah are playing the game. Sorry, go ahead.
What did I say?
Esau.
I meant Isaac. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I meant Isaac and Rebekah. Yeah. I knew I was
with Rebekah is Jacob's favorite.
Isaac likes Esau and Rebekah and Jacob, and then you see Jacob then does the exact same thing and does it with Joseph.
Almost every relationship that he had.
He preferred one. Well, he had two wives. That's his own fault. But so. He prefers Rachel over Leah, his wife. Then he prefers Rachel's child, Joseph, over all of his other brothers. And, so it just causes major chaos in the family. So from the person doing it, you are just creating dysfunction in your family. And
on the other end,
this is the part that we were asked.
Well, the question is based on the thought whether it's true or false that one or both parents or grandparent or any relationship favors a sibling over the other for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. And when this thought happens, that unfavored sibling has some serious negative thoughts creep up in their minds that can be detrimental to them, can harm their faith, can harm the family, can harm their idea of love. I mean, favoritism, like, no matter where it is not biblical, is not right in any way.
Yeah, he doesn't come out and just completely condone it or
condemn it.
or condone it, obviously. He doesn't condemn it, but yet he gives us some good examples. I would say your best example to look at would be Judah. Judah is one of the brothers that we get the most insight on of the 11 of Joseph's brothers. And you see a guy that he makes some mistakes. It records some of those. It records probably more of his because, he's of the lineage of Jesus. But, we see a guy that eventually he steps up. He becomes a leader. He realizes he's not his dad's favorite, but he's not working for his dad's approval. He's just becoming the man that God made him to be. One of the ways to fight favoritism, for one thing, you can't fight it yourself. You can't force someone to love you more, because that will lead you down a path of trying to always earn someone's approval. That's heart-wrenching because usually it's never going to come. And if it does come, once you get it, then you actually start to despise that person for causing you to make you do that. You feel in your mind.
Yeah.
You have to come to grips with you're God's child. You're satisfied being God's child, and treat that person with love and respect, but don't try to bend over backwards trying to earn their approval. And don't despise the person that is favored more. Because what I have found many times, that person that is favored more, they start to become dependent on the person that's been feeding that. And if they ever have a failure in their life, some sinful failure, moral failure, whatever you want, then they drop, and they don't know how to handle that.
So
that's all psychological stuff, but go ahead.
So I've heard, just with conversation and just talking with people, is one circumstance, one scenario is a 10 to 14-year-old kid asked the parent, "Why are my grandparents spending more time with this person than us?"
Another sibling
Or cousin or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the idea, like, you go to people that are like you, right? So you have a sibling that you have, like my friends, we're all together because we liked baseball. We're still friends because that was the start. We were on a baseball team. Somebody that didn't like baseball, they were not on the baseball team. We were not close friends with them because we didn't spend as much time with them,
sure.
So that is natural. You're inclined to the people that you like doing the same stuff. And so whether it's a sport, whether it's an activity, whether it's things that you talk about, that's a natural thing. And that happens a lot. And that's where the root of it a lot of times is, because, okay, well, this family member likes doing this, I like doing this, so we're going to do that.
Yeah.
But then in the back burner, there's another sibling that's like, what about me?
What am I, chopped liver? Yeah, so there's similar likes. There's location. You say you got a grandchild that one's all the way across the city or not even in the city, and that type of situation. There's the female male type thing. I mean, typically as you grow older, you're going to be closer to typically, to the same gender because you're going through the same type things in life. Emily and I did more together when she was younger than we do now. And now her and Leanne are, inseparable type situation. Then there's an actual need issue that comes up too. and there creates this dependency that sometimes is not healthy, and where, you know, this child's doing well, they don't need me, and this one, you know, this dependency starts to come about, and I'm feeding that as a parent or as a grandparent, and you know, that's not healthy. You don't want to be in that situation. And the other child can look and start to become angry at their sibling, or at their cousin, or whoever it might be. Try to stay away from, if you're that person on the outside, try to just be satisfied with the relationship, and don't put strings attached to it.
Yeah. Just going off of that, because I was preparing, I think this is one of the first questions we're going over with the teens.
Mm-hmm. What else did you have there?
The truth and the application of this, and it kind of goes off of what you were saying, specifically to teens, that most parents and grandparents are trying their hardest. They're not going into it, oh, I'm going to favor this kid and then leave this kid in the dust.
Yeah.
That is not the truth of it. And that those thoughts can creep up, but that's not what they're aiming to do. Most parents.
Most. But it does happen.
But humans mess up. Humans can naturally lean toward one, or whatever reason it is. Yeah. But for the most part, they are trying to love, like spread their love. Be a parent that loves all their kids. But in those cases that it does sneak up, do you throw a pouty fit? Do you scream and cry, like with middle schoolers? Seriously. And I've seen it. I've literally seen it. Is screaming, this isn't fair, or having that bitterness creep into your life, or realize the truth and understand you can only control what you can control. Now, there's some points, there's some circumstances, some scenarios that I know of. When do you have a conversation? Like, not, hey, I'm mad at you, but like, hey, do you try and initiate the hanging out with a parent more? Do you say, hey, this is hurting me, making them realize, not in a like, you're doing this wrong, but just, hey, I'd like to spend more time with you. I've noticed this. Like, when
if you can say it in a calm way, I mean, it's a wake-up call. That would be for sure.
Instead of lashing out immediately of, well, you only do that with them. Like, that's never going to work.
That's never going to work. That's just...
But, like, hey, like, this kind of hurts me. Like...
Mm-hmm. It'll be heartbreaking to the... If it's somebody that truly wants to spread the love, it's going to... It would be a wake-up call. Yeah.
And
if
maybe it's not that. Maybe you don't do that. But I think being truthful and being...
Well, you and I would always say that you should talk. I mean, you're doing this subtle type thing. That's
passive aggressiveness is never going to work.
Yeah,
it's never going to, they're going to realize one day. No, that's not.
You're just going to be more angry and more upset over that.
So really, like, the passage that comes to mind is when Jesus is talking about how do you deal with conflict with a neighbor in Matthew 18, and it says, okay, you go to that person first. Is that only with neighbors and people that have wronged you, like outside of a family? No. Like, if we had something, I'm not gonna bring the whole family. Like, if we have a problem, parent to son.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna talk to you.
Needs to be taken
and we
care of
need to
privately.
be truthful and honest with how we, like, both of our perspectives on it, and then figure it out. And if that doesn't work, then you bring in mom or something. But I just, that doesn't have to just be with your neighbors or your friends or anything. I think that's the first step is if that's truly what's happening. And then there's other scenarios of abuse, which we've talked about and stuff, where it's blatantly, I'm doing this because I...
Yeah, and I've seen that in life, where, one of the grandkids wasn't needed didn't need the person as much, so they completely ignored him.
Yeah.
I mean, even gave him different Christmas gifts compared to the other kids. I mean, it was just shameful.
Yeah.
And
So
and that person's been wise enough to say, okay,
it is what it is.
it is what it is, and
I can control what I can control.
exactly.
Yeah. So I got 5 things I'm gonna really push with this. It's what we talked about, but boiling it down to 5 simple things. Understand that this is most likely this is not just a twisted plan to ruin your life. For most situations, understand that it's not because you are the problem.
Okay.
Because that can also come in.
Sure.
They're not doing that because
What have I done?
what am I? I'm not good enough. That type of thing. This is something another imperfect person is doing, most likely without realizing it. You can only control what you can control, and just like we saw in Matthew 18, if you feel led to have a conversation about it, have that conversation and be honest.
That's very good.
So
that'll teach.
come on now.
All right, very good.
Sounded like Rick there. What was? Whenever he imitated, who was it?
Dr. Rollins.
Yeah. He could. Come on now.
Yeah. All right, very good. Well,
All right.
This was episode 90. Next week we will be
In Thailand.
live, not live, but we will.
We're not live.
We'll be
We
in
will never do a
Thailand.
live show.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That is.
We'll be in Thailand, and
No one's wanting that either.
we'll have a guest either this week or the week after, but we will have a guest. So take us home.
These are from the Masons again, Josh Mason.
All right, we got 2. All right.
Yes. Why are basketball players messy eaters?
Because they dribble.
Because they are always dribbling.
Yeah, that's.
Are monsters good at math?
I don't know.
Not unless you count Dracula.
Dun, dun.
1.
All right. Well, you guys have a great week, and we look forward to seeing you again next week and getting you the Word of God and be studying. Love you guys. Bye.